A new generation of talk radio. 970 WDAY and WDAY.com.
Christopher Gabriel returns.
Let's talk at the beginning of the show about how there are often organizations in your own town that stay under the radar to the general public, but what they're doing should be on everybody's radar. And that seems to be a perfect way to describe Dorothy Day House. The director of Dorothy Day House is Sonia Elner, and she joins me today. Welcome to the program. You need to get yourself a little closer to that.
Thanks for having me.
I'm delighted to have you. And then we watched a 90-minute film that was done on Dorothy Day House, and it was done by John Kilene, and he's here as well. John, welcome to the program to you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Dorothy Day House, because she was born, I think, late 1800s, was she not? Mm-hmm. Okay, and from my hometown, Chicago. And she spent her life doing things to basically battling for people that needed to have somebody wage battles for them, whether it was homeless, people who were poor, people who were hungry. She made that her life's work. Dorothy Day House came about 29 years ago. Explain to everybody how it came about and why it came about.
Well, sort of the history of it is that they were housing people in the basement of the Newman Center, and the city of Moorhead said that's not the safest way to go about housing those that are homeless. So Dr. Ken Covey and Father Bill Merton got together and decided to find an actual space where they can house those that were homeless. So I don't know exactly how they found the physical location, but it kind of follows Dorothy Day's philosophy as a house of hospitality, and so we actually operate within the confines of an actual house, so we're very unique.
And you have a staff there of something on the order of 29, 30 people, something like that? 10. Where did I see 29? I'm mixing it up with the years, 29 years old. 10, how many of your staff, Sonia, actually live at the house?
Currently, we just have one live-in staff.
Just one, okay. So how many people actually live there or use the house? You have a separate food pantry, do you not? Mm-hmm. Okay. How many people actually live in the house, or do no people live there?
Nope, we house 10 men.
10, okay.
Mm-hmm.
No women?
Nope.
No women. Is that by design?
Yes, because statistics show that middle-aged men make up the majority of the homeless population.
Okay.
So, given our small space, we wanted to make sure we utilize it the best way we could.
But your food pantry will feed whomever needs it?
Men, women, and children.
Okay. John, how did it come about that you did this 90-minute film on Dorothy Day House, a film that I've watched twice now, and it is incredibly compelling. I wish this was in the library here, or just something that everybody, even young people, should see, so that they understand exactly what's going on around us and how to always reach out to people who might need a little help.
Well, as a master plumber and a photography background, as a master plumber, I've worked in a lot of these shelters, doing plumbing repair work, things like that. And just seeing these people in need is like, what can I do for these people? How can I give back? And I've been doing rock bands in Minneapolis for a couple of years now, filming their videos. And I thought, I have all this equipment, microphones, cameras, studio lighting, and I thought, I'll give them a voice. I'll make a film for them, and to raise awareness, to get people out to help these people.
Well, you did a great job. How did you go about deciding how you wanted to present their story? Because I've seen films like this done about places like Dorothy Day House in other places I've lived in the country, and they've been shot differently. And what I mean is not so much the quality of the film, not that, but in terms of how the story was told. I thought you did a great job in the way you unfolded what Dorothy Day House is and what the needs that they serve. What was your game plan?
Just speak from the heart. Really didn't have a game plan too much. Just Sonia and I talked what people would be on camera that week. We didn't want to stage anything.
That's really clear. That's very,
right.
Very clear, yeah.
We want as real as possible. that's how we did it. It was just plain and simple, just as raw as we could get it.
You know, we're visiting with John Kilene and Sonia Elner. Sonia is John is the filmmaker who made this wonderful 90-minute film on Dorothy Day House. Sonia is the director. Watching this film a couple of times, it's interesting when you hear the stories of some of the individuals there. Well, all the stories are fascinating. But one in particular, it was at Neil, I think we were talking about off air. It's a gentleman who, you know, is trying to get on his feet, and he at one point he talks about people who are either homeless or poor, or we're talking about visually how people how society looks at people like him. And I'm not categorizing, I'm just saying for the purposes of this point. And he made a point in the film that stuck with me. He said, a family can be out in the park all day long playing, you know, whether it's, you know, having a picnic, frisbee, whatever, and nobody gives it a second look. But if he is sitting under a tree reading a book, a police officer will stop and look at him. And I thought the point that he was making is great, and that is that we as a society collectively, we say they look a certain way. We group them into that category, and that's it's a double-edged sword, but it's a big problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very true. Mm-hmm.
And how do we overcome that?
Well, I think with the help of this documentary and, trying to reach people and inspire them to have an open mind and to actually learn and understand some of the factors that contribute to homelessness. People tend to think that homeless people are the people standing on the corner holding the signs, and when John and I were discussing the image that we wanted to portray in the film, or the stories we wanted to gather, we wanted to give it a different face and show them that there's so many different factors that contribute to homelessness. I've
referenced this before, and I'll share this with both of you. I had a filmmaker on here, Mark Levin. He's an award-winning filmmaker from HBO. He did a piece that's still running on HBO called Lost in Long Island. The thrust of it was how you can look at these people's homes out in fancy, affluent areas of Long Island. They've literally got the white picket fence and the BMW in the drive, what have you, and then you go inside, and what you discover is one of the people in the house has been out of work for 14 months. There's 3 family members living there because they can't find work. And what you end up discovering is that our own generalizations or stereotypes about, in this case, homeless people is not always accurate. Case in point, look, it was a couple years ago when Sacramento had their tent city, and you had people that were making 6-figure incomes that had lost their jobs, that were suddenly, whole families were homeless. And I think there's an education aspect of this, and I'd like you to speak to this. There's an education aspect of this that I think we need to educate ourselves a little bit more about who's out there, and about how they often just say, we just want somebody to be decent to us and give us a chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, when people are homeless, they've reached the all-time low, and like I said, there's so many different factors that contribute to homelessness. People in the shelter now who have been divorced. We had a gentleman who was staying at the shelter a while back who had lost his wife and child and just had an astounding amount of medical bills, and was obviously so distraught about the situation that it just kind of spiraled downward from there. We've had medical emergencies, people with mental illness, people who have lost their jobs. So it's so difficult to when I'm trying to explain to people why people are homeless, there's just so many different facets, and I just want the community to realize that these people just want what we want. We want people to say hi to us when we walk by. We want a smile, some respect, some dignity. So something to think about. When you walk by someone that you might think might be homeless.
I think most communities in America have this problem where we see someone who's homeless and we immediately say, deadbeat. And it may not be, and oftentimes isn't that at all. And we might be good, decent people, and suddenly we lose all sense of being decent to somebody who's just another person with another heart, another set of lungs, and we can't reach out in that way. Your food pantry, how do you get a hold? Is it deliveries? People just donate? How do people deliver the food to you?
Every single day, people, like you said, we've been around for 29 years, so a lot of people in the community know about us. So every single day, people are dropping off food donations. We have businesses that do food drives for us. Phoenix and International just challenged their departments to collect food for us. And then we also received a substantial amount of food from Fill the Dome that just happened here at the end of November. So about 85% of the food that we distribute is donated right from people right here in the community.
We've got about 90 seconds left. How do people get in touch with you if they want to donate food or just be of help to you in any way they can?
Well, they can go on our website at www.fmddh.org.
Oh, slow down. FM what?
fmddh.org.
Okay, good.
Or they can
I want to make sure they get it right.
Or they can just Google the Dorothy Day House, or they can give us a call. All of that information is on the website, but it's 218-233-5763.
And Sonia, what we'll do is, Sonia and John, what we'll do is we'll put that on our Facebook pages, the links up so that people see that as well. Any big food drives or anything coming up?
No, I mean, around the holidays, we just have a ton of people that are just dropping off food.
And if people want to see the video, the DVD, is there any way to do that?
Yeah, you can contact me at the Dorothy Day House, and I can get them a DVD.
You know, if you ever need help getting the word out and you need anything, please call us. Please let us know, because we'll get you on any time. I think I really believe in places like Dorothy Day House. I think what you do and the people that you have working with you do a great thing for people that simply need just a hand. And shame on the people, Jill, that immediately want to condemn people who are homeless instead of just trying to do something to lift them up.
Yeah, and thanks to John for that.
Absolutely,
we need more
John.
people in our community that, they don't have to, but they stick their neck out and do, get the word out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful film, and folks, if you have a chance, contact Sonia and watch this film, because I've watched it twice. It's 90 minutes long. You watch it and suddenly you go, "What? My goodness, 90 minutes have gone by." John Kilene, filmmaker, among other things, not doing wedding photography, and the director of Dorothy Day House, Sonia Kellner. Thanks so much for coming by, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Christopher Gabriel program.
Now, Focus on Energy. Brought to you by Ottertail Power Company.